Essential movement breaks for enjoying your pregnancy, coming up next. The movement breaks that you're about to see in this video are really key to keeping your tissues hydrated and your joints functioning properly throughout your pregnancy. As you know, there's lots of changes going on in your pregnancy. So I've compiled these few movement breaks that are really essential in keeping your body feeling strong and healthy and the tensional systems of muscles in your body in balance. Standing wide angle side to side. Place your hands on a chair seat and step your feet as comfortably wide as feels good for your body at this time. And you can turn the toes out slightly. Your body, as you're getting bigger, probably is getting a little more used to that. And then just rocking your weight side to side, bending one knee and then the other. And just keep shifting your weight. Doing this several times throughout the day is really helpful for alleviating the pull of tension from the inner thighs that may be because you have been a leg crosser up until your pregnancy, and that creates more tension in the outer hips. So when you're feeling tension in the outer hips, or if you want to avoid hip issues in your pregnancy, this movement break, standing wide angle side to side, supported on a chair, if it's easy for you and you're earlier in your pregnancy and it's easy for you to put your hands on the floor, do that, right? But we'll just do one more to either side. Just doing this for about a minute a few times throughout your day. Great, and then coming to center, and then to come out of this, heel toeing your feet in until your legs are a little more under you, and then bend your knees into a little tiny squat and push yourself up to stand. Standing leg swings. Placing your hand on the top of a chair, something to steady yourself. Bring your weight to the leg on the inside, and then before you lift that outside leg, start to lift the hip a little bit, and then just swinging the leg forward and back, forward and back. This is going to help to keep the hip joints hydrated, keeping a little balance between your hip flexors and hip extensors. You can do it for about 30 seconds or maybe 8 or 10 times. Great. And then you'll just kind of put your foot down, take a breath in between. And then I'm gonna just have you turn around and place your other hand on the chair and doing those leg swings again. Remember to keep a little bit of that hip lifted up a little. It'll make you more stable on the standing leg. And if your baby's getting in the way a little bit of that forward reach, the leg can go slightly out to the side a little bit, give a little more swing. And we'll do one more time, forward, back, and then lower that foot and take a nice breath. Standing hip circles, place one hand on a chair for stability or at the wall. Bring your weight to the inside leg. Lift that outer hip a little bit, and then doing some hip circles. Now that trajectory of that hip circle is going to change a lot, right, in your pregnancy. So just trying to rotate that thigh in just one more. Great, and put that leg down. And then we'll turn around and do the other side, hand to the chair. Bring your weight to the inside leg, lift the other hip, and then doing some hip circles. And you're kind of using that head of the femur to clean out the hip joint, kind of keeping good tensional balance all around the muscles that act on the hip. Great. One more, and then you can put that foot down, and then always pause. Take a deep breath. To build some strength in those outer hips and keep the balance in the hips, you're going to place your hands on the back of a chair or the seat of a chair, whatever works for your body. And then start with a little tiny bend in the knees so that you're not hyperextending in the back, right? Little tiny tuck of the pelvis, later in pregnancy especially important. And then just 3 to 5 times, starting with the right leg, lifting it up and out to the side, and then lower it back down. And then up and out to the side. And 3, We'll do 2 more. 2, great job. And 1, lower that leg, pause in between, soften the knees a little bit, check that tuck a little bit, and then now left side. Left leg out. 4, just do 5 on each side, 3, and 2, and last one, 1, and lower, pause, take a deep breath. And then always when you're coming up to stand, even just leaning forward a little bit, bending the knees a little, and then using the strength of your legs to push you back up instead of standing, takes the strain out of the back. Standing tucks at a chair. So step back from a chair, place your hands up on the top of the chair or the chair seat, whatever works for your body today. Then you'll begin to bend your knees and tuck the pelvis under, helping to reverse that pull of the baby forward, and then come to stand. Yep. And keep going. Lower the buttocks, bend the knees, tuck strongly to stretch those low back muscles, and then come to stand. And we're going to do 4 more of these. Tuck, and then stand. Really safe way. This is a really safe way to stretch that back, take some of the pull out of those low back muscles that can feel a lot of strain, especially late stage pregnancy. I think we're doing 1 more, yes? And then tuck, and maybe stay here, hold an extra breath. Keep breathing. On the next exhale, tuck a little bit more. Yes, beautiful. And then lift yourself back up and come up to stand. Standing side bends, you can start just having your hands along the outer thighs and then begin to just start sliding side to side. Let it be slow and easy. And what this does, it starts to open up those low back muscles and even some of the hip tissue to alleviate a little bit of low back pain. Now, if you're really late stage in your pregnancy like Morgan, I might also encourage you to bend your knees a little bit and get a little tiny tuck in the pelvis. So tucking that pelvis under a little, there you go. And you'll feel it a little bit more perhaps in that low back. And if you feel really stable and secure, you can begin to add the arms. So as you go to the left, you can sweep that right arm over. And then as you go to the right, and just nice and slow. It doesn't have to sync with your breath like yoga when you're not pregnant. We often try to sync movement with breath. Take that pressure off yourself when you're pregnant. Just keep breathing. We're going to do 1 more to each side. And then come up to standing, soften the arms, soften the shoulders, nice breath.